Both, whatever you want.
Actual
Can I video you? Is that okay?
How far away is it?
Well, it's just right back here, but we could. Yeah. So the helicopter landed just right out here, right?
On the lake?
Yep. Yeah, because he couldn't land back there. So we cross country skied in, and that was between Christmas and New Year's. That was on the 29th. Was it 29th? So, anyways, we'd skied in, and the breeze was blowing, and so we sat down in the trees, and just over here where those kind of avalanche chutes are there, Morgan just went up just a ways, and he was skiing down with his cross-country skis, and he lost his balance, and he went head first into the snow, and I saw him, and I wasn't going to go over there because I knew he was faking it. and so anyways, I just let him there, and Howard went over and saw him and realized that there was problems and stuff, and Howard called to me, and I still wasn't believing. I thought that they were scheming all the way up here to make it, just to fake us out. So anyways, eventually I did go over there. Well, no, actually I started walking over there, and Howard said, you have to ski out to go get help because Morgan's broke his neck. And I didn't believe him, so I went over there to Morgan. Then I realized that, yeah, it was. So Howard skied out, and so I started artificial respiration.
Do you guys know what that is?
Nope.
He was breathing for Grandpa Morgan. Grandpa Morgan couldn't breathe anymore. So Uncle David here sat and did mouth-to-mouth respiration. Gave him oxygen.
About 3 to 4 hours till the helicopter landed here. And then we had to put him on the stretcher. They had a stretcher, and we didn't keep our skis on, so we trudged through the snow, and it was really hard getting, and it was almost dusk at that point, and the helicopter guy said, well, don't worry about breathing for Morgan, just get him on the helicopter. Well, I mean, if we didn't, he'd die anyways. So anyways, it was a real struggle to get him out here to the helicopter, and then I got in the helicopter with Morgan and was, still doing artificial respiration till he flew down where we just started skiing from and met an ambulance there, and then they drove him by ambulance to Cardston. And the helicopter pilot said he couldn't fly at night. That's why we didn't fly right to Cardston in the helicopter. But by the time he was at the ambulance, then he was stabilized, and they got him stabilized so that he could breathe on his own and stuff. And then we made it to Cardston, and then you came and you saw him, and he was still conscious, right? At that point. I kept him.
Do you remember seeing him?
I saw him.
Matt, you saw him. You
I was the only one who saw him alive.
I was back with Aunt Tammy and Lauren.
I think I snuck in, actually.
Jen was the only one that got in there.
I think I kind of just followed you
I
without.
took all 3 of you in there.
Mom, we didn't go in. We saw him after. We went in after he passed away. He had tubes and stuff down his throat and stuff.
You
We
went
didn't
in
go in.
before.
Aunt Tammy stopped us.
No,
I
I
didn't
took
go
you
in.
in.
I
Honestly,
remember,
and
Mom.
He had the tubes and stuff in, and they were breathing for him. I took all 3 of you in.
Well, the first thing when I started artificial respiration, he said, you saved my life.
Mom, we're finding. Was that his last words?
No. That was his first words to me.
No, the night before this happened, I was laying on the bed with you, reading me stories, and I had the most incredible feeling come over me. It was just so amazing. I'd never felt anything like it before.
Oh, she's throwing rocks with that, Robbie.
I didn't really understand what it was or anything, but I think it was Heavenly Father's way of telling me that everything was going to be okay. You know, just kind of giving me some warning ahead and letting me know he was there. And I went out to Morgan and I was telling him about it. And he literally put his arms around me and cried that he was so happy he was going to spend time with his brothers. He was so excited to go and to go on this trip because they hadn't been able to do anything for a long time because of their wives.
Did you say that out loud?
I agree with that. I wouldn't say it.
And he was pretty excited to go. And the way he died, we were in the x-ray room and I was in there with him. And one of the ambulance guys was in there. His name was James Taylor. He lives in Cardston. And they were taking x-rays of his neck. And when they came and told me that they confirmed it was a C3-4 fracture. And James was in there with me. And I was telling Morgan I was going to get in the helicopter and fly to Calgary with him. And that's when he died. But James Taylor, he was a fellow who did not believe in a life after this. He just thought we lived here and then we died and we were gone.
Russell.
But he was able to overhear a conversation between Grandpa Morgan and somebody. And they were telling him it was his choice. That he could stay and he could live and he could be with his family or else he could go. And James he came to the house and told me this afterwards, that he had witnessed all this. And he said that this person was telling him, you know, it's your choice, you can go or you can stay. But that if you stay, it will be harder on your family. But if you go, you'll be able to be a better help to your family than you ever will be if you stay on the earth. And that's when he stopped breathing and left. That's when he died.
What were his last words?
The last thing he said to me was he couldn't really speak, but he just said, I love you, and I love the kids. So, that's how it all happened. And Morgan and David were best buddies. They were not only brothers, but they were the best of friends, right?